Hello everybody, thank you for watching my video again. Thank you also for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. In this video I will be talking to you about my braids. A lot of people ask me questions about how to take care of their braids, how to style their braids, and what products I use. So in this video I will be showing you some of the things that I use for my braids. In this jar I've got a bit of shea butter, coconut oil, castor oil, and a bit of rosemary oil. I'm going to put a list of the things in here under the description box if you feel like trying it out on your hair. But it really does a lot for my hair. It keeps it moisturized, it keeps it really soft, and I don't have dry hair because of what I use. Also, I've got a spray bottle, and in this spray bottle I've got some water, I've got some oils that are actually in here because I feel like sometimes I'm not able to reach some parts of my scalp. Or say for example, if I was going to rush out of the house really quickly and I don't have time to just cream my scalp, I just literally just spray this on my hair and it works quite well. And for the actual hair itself, the actual extensions, I prefer to use oil sheen spray, and I use this one specifically. I like the way it smells. £2.70, I got it from the store. That's basically what I use. I wash my braids every 3 weeks or so because when you use a lot of oils and stuff on your hair, you're going to have a lot of residue over time, and you don't want to keep that in for too long because then your hair might start to smell, or you know, it might become too oily. So what I do is I wash my braids every 3 weeks, and then when it's dry I put in the oil again. Shampoo the braids, condition the braids. When I say condition, I'm specifically talking about your scalp. Basically like you're massaging your roots. But make sure you try as much as possible to reach every part of your scalp, because when your hair grows, one thing your hair needs to do while it's growing is to grow healthy. And a lot of people feel like, oh, I can have my braids in for like 2 months, don't do nothing to it, and then at the end of 2 months expect good growth. But when it's growing really dry. So when you're taking out your hair, the hair is really dry, it's really brittle. So all that tension of you unraveling the braids and taking the extensions out from your hair is breaking. But if it's moisturized, if it's clean, if it's healthy, you might still lose a little bit of hair because you've had the braids in for a while, but you wouldn't lose nowhere as much as if you had it and it was very dry. So make an effort when you have braids in and you will see differences. Well, it depends on how your hair is, but I like to feel and I like to make sure that my hair is always moisturized and never dry. So I generally use it every 5 to 6 days. And there are times when, say for example, I wanted to style it and I felt like some part of it was dry, then I might just apply a bit of oil, or I might just spray a little bit. So it depends on how your hair is. Generally, you should know when to moisturize your hair, or when it needs a bit more oil, or when it needs washing. If you're able to do this, then you would be able to grow your hair with braids. You can have braids for up to 12 weeks. Now, when I say you can have braids up to 12 weeks, I don't mean you can just install them and leave it and then expect your hair to grow 6 inches. Now, if you have your braids in, if you take care of your scalp and your hair whilst your braids are in, I can almost guarantee that you will see results. You will see benefits of having braids in. So when I take this out in another 6 or 7 weeks, I am very certain that I will see good changes in my hair. Speak to your hairstylist when they're installing your braids. If it's too painful, tell them it's too painful, because the scalp is telling you is that there is too much tension in your hair. So when you have your braids, when you're having your braids, your twist, your forelocks, your any style for that matter, if it's hurting, it's your scalp telling you that there is something about this style that's too tight. One thing I have to say to people is, when you have your braids done, make sure that it is moisturized. Don't just have it, because your hair is going to be in extensions for what, 1 or 2 months. You know, you could go with your own cream. That's what I do when I'm going to my auntie to get my braids done. I always have this with me, and you have the benefit of having it for like 4 to 8 weeks. So fair enough, there are some times when, you know what, you can actually get out of bed, you know, don't have to do nothing to your hair, just pack it back and go on your way. There will be days like that, and that is one of the things that a protective hairstyle such as braids or twist, or you know, forelocks, or you know, whatever single plait that you do, that is one of the added benefits of it. It is a great protective hairstyle, which means like your hair your real, you know, your hair growing from your scalp is not out. Also, because of the time that you're giving your scalp, it allows your scalp some time to actually grow hair. The best thing to do is basically just pack all your braids and pack it back, and if possible you can plait the ends so they're just one big bunch. That way you're not going to be tugging on it, or you're not going to be turning, and when you're sleeping you're not going to be affecting your hair too much. That's the best way to keep your hair. That way it's neater for longer, you're not tugging on it while you're sleeping. Like some people go to bed with their braids up in a bun, or like that's way too much tension you're applying to your hair. If you're applying that much tension to your hair, by the time the braids are out you're going to lose a lot of hair and your edges will probably be gone. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you my favorite styles.